just dancing and the hip hop that was there, and I wanted people to get, not have to get dressed up.
New video from the party. It's been said that Diddy, Kim Kardashian, and Jennifer Lopez are dating again. These three people are well known in the entertainment business, but this new event has everyone talking. Could this be it? Diddy is still in trouble with the law because of videotape, and we'll also talk about what these events have to do with Diddy's famous white parties, where the guest list often shows more than what the eye. So come with us as we look at how the new party video of Diddy and Kim Kardashian, Diddy white parties. Diddy was a big name in the music business in the 2000s. Jennifer Lopez changes everything. Having worked with big names like Usher, Mary J., Bliss, and Jennifer Lopez, but D.I.Y. was known for his famous white parties, which became the event that every ace had to go to. These parties were the talk of the town from 1998 to 2009. They began in the before moving on to other fancy places like Beverly Hills and St. Tropez. Everyone had to wear all white, and the party decorations had to match. Diddy told Oprah in 2006 that the dress code was meant to make everyone look the same and feel equal. His parties were a mix of people, old money New Yorkers, and stars from the music business, making a unique and varied vibe. As Diddy once said, racist and generational barriers were broken down at these events. The first White the Party took place over Labor Day weekend on September 7, 1998. It was a casual BBQ at Diddy's, New Hampton's home with about 200 guests. The list of guests was crazy, with a mix of socialites from Harlem and stars like Leonardo DiCaprio, who just got big, were there. In honor of the Titanic, the last white party was held in Beverly Hills on July 4, 2009. It was co-hosted by Ashton Kutcher and also a charity event for Malaria Noor, and brought stars like Nicole Scherzinger and Khloe Kardashian together today. But with Diddy, many people are remembering how glamorous these people were before they were charged with sex trafficking and crime. Paris Hilton once thought about famous white parties in a different way. Diddy's first white party was in the Hamptons, and Martha Stewart said it was iconic because everyone was there. Some people who were at the first party thought it was beautiful that everyone was dressed in white, but not everyone had the same experience. Tom Swoop, an insider in the music business, remembered that there were different levels of entry at the party. Some guests could go into places that other guests weren't allowed to, and kids couldn't stay after a certain time. They had to leave. In an online video, Diddy can be seen talking to the crowd from a balcony and telling them, "We fed you. We gave you all drinks, and now it's time to enjoy life." He even said that kids they only had an hour before they had to go home. When you get older, this Diddy's white parties over the years have been the kind of parties you'll want to go to. Famous, and the guest list was full of famous people. If you're famous in Hollywood or the music business, you probably went to one of these events, like Ariana Franklin. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, Sarah Jessica Parker, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Ashton Kutcher all showed up at some point, and the party had a unique mix of popular people, models, socialites, and even not so famous people from the music business, making them the fans are going crazy on social media about where they want to be as the story plays out. When people hear that Kim Kardashian is linked to Diddy, they often wonder if she could get in trouble because of his legal problems. With everything going on, why is Kim's lawyer getting so much attention right now? Let's find out. Kardashian is getting a lot of attention because Diddy is being charged with major crimes, including crime and sex trafficking. A plot among those caught in the Kardashian, who has been in the news lately, is the one causing all the trouble. Before Diddy's homes were searched in March, Kim is said to have stopped following him on Instagram and started pulling away from him. Kim's friendship with Diddy goes back to years when she went to wild nights with friends like Khloe and Paris Hilton. Kardashian's relationship has a lot of different parts. What does this mean for Kim? Now that Diddy is in the news for legal problems, all eyes are on her. The stakes have never been higher. The news that Kim's ex-boyfriend Ray J., whose real name is William Ray Norwood Jr., has shared his in a recent chat with Chris Cuomo on News Nation's Cuomo. He talked about his own experiences at Diddy's parties. A lot of people in the business don't seem to know of any major charges against Diddy. Recently, pictures from Diddy's Labor Day party went viral, showing Kim Kardashian with Diddy in Paris. The pictures of Paris Hilton brought back old memories, such as a clip from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where Khloe Kardashian talks about one of Diddy's fancy parties. She says that when Justin Bieber 20 people showed up and half of them were naked. Khloe is now in the Again in 2016 with a clip from her talk show Astra Cocktails with Khloe is going around the internet. In the video, she and Kourtney talk to Diddy and Khloe. Says the Kardashians come to mind when you think of a party or a good time. Diddy and Kanye have been friends for years, but it looks like they've started to drift apart lately. Remember that not everyone stays by your side when things get tough. Friends in need aren't always friends. In fact, after Diddy was arrested, someone on X said that Kim Kardashian was the person who shared the video, was caught up in the situation, and was even being investigated by the FBI, saying that Kim had something to do with Diddy's famous tapes and that she had been accused of drugging and blackmailing people. In reaction, Kim's lawyer sent a cease and desist order telling the user to stop. Down the post, the video is no longer viewable, and the person shared pictures of Kim's lawyer Christina Davis told them to stop what they were doing, saying it was all to protect Kim's even though they were threatened with legal action. The user said they wouldn't back down, saying their threats and fear and threats don't work to stop what's about to happen. They even added a scary note. The message told them that if they kept quiet, it wouldn't be their choice, said the accusations against Kim were completely fake and against the law, and they threatened to take down the film if it wasn't taken down, would go to court for slander. Nizen's responses were mixed. One user said, "I'm not saying this is fake. This is fake," said one person, who then made a joke about how true the claims were. As one person said, "Think about what happened again. If it wasn't true, why not? Don't pay attention to it like other silly online stories. There are already a lot of them." Now that we've talked about the drama between Kim Kardashian and Diddy, let's move on to those other people. People know Jennifer Lopez for how beautiful she was at Diddy's white parties and the pictures of her from those events. To show up online, what does this mean for her reputation? Is she connected to in the news right now? Let's look into this. Jennifer Lopez on high alert. Any people who are connected to Diddy Combs, especially those who dated him, like Jennifer Lopez, are getting a lot of attention. Fans are talking about which famous people have been to Diddy's infamous freak-off parties, which are said to have had illegal drugs. There have been drugs, secret cams, sex workers, and girls young since the accusations came out. Jennifer Lopez's connection with him in the past has been seen with more and more disapproval. Recently, a clip from an old interview of Jennifer's came back online and started a debate. In the clip, she openly talked about how she felt about Diddy, saying that she didn't like him at first. She told him, "At first, I didn't like him, I thought he was gross." Explained that they had very different characters. She cared about her family, while he was interested in getting married. Jennifer thought about how they met and remembered the first time she worked with me. On the video, I was married, but no one knew I was having troubles. That she was married to Ojon Noah for a short time from 1997 to 1998 before she started dating Diddy. But by 1999, she was dating the rapper after becoming friends with him. Their bond grew stronger. "We both knew where we were in life at that time," she said, pointing out how they both felt the same way. Near the end of the clip, Jennifer talked about the night they were taken after a shooting in December in a New York bar. She said in 1999 that she felt safe while tied to a bench because someone cared enough to make things okay. That night, Jennifer Lopez, Diddy, and Moses Shine Barrow, an act on Bad Boy Records, were stuck in the chaos when the car they used to get away from the scene of the crime had a stolen gun found in it. Jennifer was quickly freed. Diddy and Shine were cleared of all charges, including gun possession charges. Shine was found guilty on 5 counts and given a 10-year jail term in 2001. He was then deported after he was freed from this issue. A picture of Diddy's 4th of July party with a lot of famous people at it went viral. His picture from 2000 of him lounging in bed with Jennifer Lopez and the late R&B singer Aaliyah also shows Andre Harold, the late record producer, model Nathan Adcock, and Damon Dash were all of at that time. They were laughing and having fun with each other on a big deal. From 1999 to 2004, Jennifer Lopez and Diddy were still seeing each other. Jennifer was on The Wendy Williams Show in 2001 and again in 2015. Mark, where Wendy made fun of the idea that she might get back together with it, was another dramatic turn for Diddy when he dropped a bomb on Asterisk. Jimmy Kimmel Live talks about an alleged trio that includes Will and Jada Pinkett Smith and Jennifer Lopez in 2023. Diddy was talking to Kimmel, and the host joked about the juicy rumor. When you were dating Jennifer Lopez, did Will and Jada try to pick her up for a threesome? If so, were you really interested in them? I'm going to beat up Will Smith D. I looked shocked when he replied, "You really heard that?" Kimmel asked, laughing. "I saw it," he said. Online and joked, "You telling me I can't believe everything I read?" Combs laughed and agreed. He laughed and said, "I don't know what you're," as he spread his hands out. Fans were excited about the play exchange, which added another layer to the Diddy's timeline of claims gets even more complicated as the spotlight shines on his already complicated web of star relationships. And cases show a worrisome trend of claimed wrongdoing. How did a music mogul get so rich? To such fame only to face such serious claims? What does this mean for his legacy? Based on a list of claims and cases, let's look into this. Cassie Ventura sued Diddy on November 16th, saying he raped her in 2018 and abused her for years, including hitting her and choking her. One day later, on November 17th, she was in charge of both her personal and work life. CNN reported that Cassie settled her $30 million case for a number that was not made public. Diddy's lawyer claimed that she chose to settle this issue peacefully. The deal doesn't mean he did anything wrong, and he is still denying the charges made against him on November 23rd. A woman who didn't want to be named said that Diddy and singer Aaron Hall raped her and a friend after they met at an MCA event in New York. This case was put in just before new older attack cases could be taken to court in York, even if the statute of limitations had passed. In her case, Joey Dickerson Neal also said that Diddy sexually drugged her on the same day today, attacks her, and secretly records the attack while she was in college in 1991. Diddy was sued for sexual abuse again on December 6th, with claims of that he drugged the woman and helped a group rape happen in 2003, when she was only Rodney Lil Rod Jones sued Diddy in February. Saying he was forced to, Jones said Diddy told them to do sexual things they didn't want to do, held sex trafficking parties with girls young and illegal drugs, which suggests that some records on May 19th, executives looked the other way to make money. CNN shared a 2016 video of Diddy that made Ventura speak out, beating her in a hotel hallway, which she wrote about on Instagram. She will always be healing from her past because of the violence that broke her. Later said sorry for what happened on May 22nd. Former model Crystal McKinney filed she sued Diddy in Manhattan, saying he drugged and sex attacked her at his New York recording studio in 2003. In a case filed in New York on May 24, 2004, Lamuro accused Diddy of sexual abuse, describing 4 scary events that happened between 1995 and 2001, 3 of which 5 rapes and 1 time when he made her take drugs. By May 29th, many of Diddy's victims have already been called to appear before a grand jury by police. Interviewed, saying that officials might want to bring charges against him, even though nothing had been as of now. Diddy was nabbed in Manhattan on September 16th after being charged by a grand jury the next day. A federal court made the charges public. People who accused him of crime, sex trafficking, and transporting women for prostitution said he abused, threatened, and women to meet his sexual needs and keep his image in good shape. Reported that Diddy and others reportedly used a Molotov bomb to set someone's car on fire, a claim that was made by when Cassie sued Diddy before. She said he blew up a rapper kid's car. Cute. On September 24th, Diddy found himself in a sale with Sam Bankman-Fried, a former crypto mogul. Banker Fried is serving a 25-year sentence for theft and money laundering at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. With money laundering linked to the FTX scandal, Taya Graves filed a federal case saying that Diddy and a friend of his gave her wine in 2001 that made her feel weak and dizzy before they raped her with her hands tied behind her back. On September 26th, a video about it came out on YouTube, featuring an interview with Diddy's lawyer Mark Agnifilo in which he talked about the video that got out showing Diddy hitting Cassie. Said that the charge was an attack on a successful black guy and that he doesn't think Diddy will agree to a plea deal. Finally, on September 27th, she is accused of drugging and raping a woman more than once. In her case, she calls the woman Jane Doe. She got pregnant after just one encounter and is suing for vague damages. The timing of the claims against Diddy paint a disturbing picture of a famous music mogul who is being accused of major crimes, of wrongdoing and abuse. And as more claims come in, many people are left wondering how these revelations will have an effect on Diddy's job and legacy in the entertainment business. He is facing a tough future. The person charged with sex trafficking could get life in jail if they are found guilty of gang plot. He will stay in federal prison until his trial, which is coming up because his lawyers couldn't get him a minimum sentence of 15 years. Get a judge to let him out on bail. But before we go any further, let's go back and look at Diddy's past. The question of why Justin Bieber spent so much time with Diddy when he was a teenager. What was Bieber doing? Stories. That's where we're going next, so don't leave early. Similarity between Diddy and Bieber. The link between Sean and Diddy starts with Justin Bieber when he was a teenager, and it's been getting a lot of attention since then. He was only 15 years old when he spent time with Diddy, who was over 40 at the time. A video from 2009 that was found again talks about their time together and how Diddy was given custody of Bieber. I'm not legally responsible for him for the next 48 hours, but he's with me, so did he. There are even jokes about them going crazy and not being able to say what they were doing at the time, even though fans are going over these things again because of the serious accusations against Diddy. At the time, this may have seemed innocent to some. Since Diddy was charged with sex trafficking, several videos have come back to the surface, causing fans to become more worried. Are now seeing them in a much darker light in the Diddy video from 2009. Strange comments about spending time with Bieber, which many people find disturbing. Diddy is a well-known figure in the mogul's claim that he is care of Bieber has caused a lot of confusion, as especially now that Diddy is being accused of taking advantage of weak people. Another clip from a 2016 party that Bieber looks awkward, and while Diddy smiles has also gone viral. Talks about their plans to get girls, even though these things may have been quickly brushed off at the time because of Bieber's rise in the entertainment business. They now feed into plot ideas about what was really going on. Behind the scenes, fans are wondering why a teenager would spend so much time with someone so far away, younger, and whether Bieber could have been taken advantage of. By the way fans reacted in the media has been swift and critical on sites like X. People who used to use Twitter are voicing their shock. Some fans are out there calling the vids creepy and frightening. If Diddy was so important to Bieber as a teenager, I don't see why no one stepped in to protect him. Many people see Justin Bieber's obvious discomfort with the leaked clips as a sign that something bad is going on, that something more sinister might have been going on, even though these movies were getting more and more attention. Diddy is being charged, but Justin Bieber has been surprisingly quiet about it. According to people who know him well, Bieber is focusing on his family and personal life, especially now that he has became a father, but fans are left guessing about why he did it. Bieber has had terrible events in the music business, which he has talked about in the past. People are wondering if there is more to the story than meets the eye since Bieber hasn't talked about it in public. A hole that both fans and critics want him to fill. Whether he is dodging it's not clear if he got involved in the dispute to protect his own mental health or to stay out of Diddy's court problems. Still, his quiet only adds to the wonder of his connection with Diddy in the past. But while fans, it's possible that the next part will show how the case against Diddy keeps changing. We'll talk about the newest shocking statements in news that could send shock waves through the whole music business. Could these new statements show more high-profile people involved? What other shock waves could these events send through the entertainment business? Because even more shocking news about the case is about to come out. And there's more. Diddy's court problems hit a new high point in September 2024. He was officially caught and charged with running an illegal enterprise and trafficking in women under the age of 18. The charges were brought after a long investigation that began in 2023 after Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, his ex-girlfriend, sued him, saying he had abused her physically and sexually for years. When federal agents searched Diddy's homes in Beverly Hills, Miami, they found troubling evidence that linked him to a network of exploitation. One of the most important parts of Diddy's court case is the rising number of testimony from potential victims. Some victims have said they were forced to go to freak-off parties. These statements talk about supposedly Diddy-planned parties that involve drug abuse and sexual exploitation, give a thorough and upsetting account of how Diddy is said to have encouraged a culture of abuse in his close group, and perhaps most shockingly, some male sex workers have come forward to say they were exploited. Even more, what they said about the case shows a bigger, more widespread pattern of abuse against both men and women. If Diddy had power over these witnesses, they could be very important in getting a sentence, especially given how important they are. Of the claims that have been made public, there has also been a lot of talk about some people say that Diddy's arrest has bigger effects on the entertainment business. Is part of a bigger reckoning in the music world that mirrors the effects of the Me Too movement in Hollywood. They say the balance of power is finally being shown, and more people could be held soon. As the case moves forward, the person will be held responsible for years of abuse that went unnoticed. There are a few things that could happen to Diddy. Some lawyers think that because the charges are so serious, with more and more evidence against him, Diddy may try to get a plea deal to avoid the long and bad process of a full trial. If he is found guilty at trial, he could spend decades in jail, which would end his career and leave behind his reputation. Damaged, on the other hand, Diddy's lawyers are trying hard to fight the charges, saying that they have said that Diddy is a target because the accusations are part of a larger plan to hurt his reputation. Because of his power and wealth, Diddy's court case began in September 2024 when he was caught in New York by federal police on major charges of sex trafficking, bribery, and other things. According to the charges, Diddy used his business empire bad boy to run a crime enterprise for years. As entertainment for these events, we're talking about forced work there is sexual abuse and even threats of violence at these freak-off parties to keep everything secret. Events that Diddy allegedly put together were said to be wild drug-fueled parties where weak people were abused. But this isn't just a case of one or two events, as the charge says. This behavior goes back years, maybe even to the early 2000s. For almost a year, Diddy was already facing several civil cases charging him of sexual misbehavior, but things got worse when police searched his homes, they found troubling proof of a bigger pattern of abuse. So because of the fallout, Diddy's success has been turned upside down, including bad boy records and ventures like Sack Vodka has been closely looked at, as well as their reputation and legacy, which he worked on for decades, are now in danger of being totally destroyed, even though he has a law team to protect him. Diddy has been refused bail twice in federal court, even though he says he is innocent. Today in Manhattan, this time hoping to get bail, the music mogul was turned down for bail yesterday. Officials said that because of his money and contacts, he was a flight risk. And there was also a chance that some fans would try to scare witnesses while they were holding. There is little chance that he is innocent because the proof keeps building up. His once glamorous life is now a mess. Scam. So what does this mean for Diddy's business, which was once untouchable? Is there a deeper link between him and other famous people who have been accused of similar things? That's exactly what we're looking into. We are about to look into Diddy's troubling ties to Jeffrey Epstein, the Epstein link. Now let's talk about one of the most shocking parts of the Diddy case, the rising plot. There are ideas that connect him to Jeffrey Epstein. and both men are accused of very troubling activities involving the taking advantage of and manipulating weak people, which has led many to see similarities between there to begin with. The charges against Diddy have some eerie parallels to charges against Epstein. Both men are said to have used their wealth, power, and vast groups that take advantage of women and kids. Epstein's famous parties on his private island had famous people, young girls, and accusations of sexual trafficking on a global scale. Diddy, who hasn't been charged with it is said that the same type of global crime has held similar wild parties where drugs and there was a lot of abuse. And some conspiracy theories say that Diddy's parties were smaller but still showed the same abuse of power and mistreatment as Epstein's infamous meetings. In both, we see a trend of using social pressure to get not only victims to join, but there were also strong people who either didn't see or took part in many conspiracies. Thinkers say the similarities are too strong to ignore, and when high-profile famous people like Diddy and Epstein are involved mainly because of how private their personal lives are, and it was not clear what crimes they were accused of in the Epstein case until flight logs were leaked. And testimonials showed a long list of famous people, from celebrities to officials. And now some people are wondering, was Diddy on that list? Could he have been doing similar things right now? Even though no one has found any proof that Diddy visited Epstein's island, most people think that he did. That hasn't stopped the stories from going around. Some say Diddy may be in trouble with the law because of them. Of trying to hide links to a much bigger, scarier network, an idea that has some scary similarities. I have kept a secret about how Epstein worked before he was arrested for like 14 years. I remember the first time I heard it was in 2010. It was one of the most interesting conspiracy ideas about the idea that Diddy and Epstein ran blackmail networks, and a lot of people think that his fancy parties were just a cover for a bigger plan to catch him. Disturbing footage on the wealthy and powerful hidden cameras, secret recordings, and guests who are easily harmed. These were said to have been used to control famous people in the same way some people who believe in conspiracies think that Diddy's crazy parties could have done the same thing. That Diddy wasn't just having fun at these parties, they were actually complex schemes to blackmail other people. Video footage of wealthy people doing illegal or evil things was reportedly taken at events. This so-called power could be used to get business deals, government benefits, or just to keep people loyal. As with many conspiracy ideas, this one is based on guesswork rather than solid proof, but given EPN's famous form of blackmail, and many people think Diddy may have used his power in a similar way to not only victims but also other famous people and business leaders. But this plot could go deeper. Might Diddy's fall have something to do with strong people trying to hide their involvement? There may be links between Diddy and Epstein that haven't been found yet. Join us as we look into how Epstein's strange. It's possible that Epstein's death set the stage for the danger he now faces behind bars. We should talk about one of the most controversial parts of the Diddy case, the risks he faces in jail, and how it's a lot like what happened to Jeffrey Epstein before he died. Between their cases have led to even more rumors and ideas of a plot. Jeff Epstein's death at the Metropolitan Correctional Center (MCC) in 2019 in Manhattan caused a lot of debate, and his death was officially ruled as even though they killed themselves. A lot of people thought it was foul play from the start. Mr. Jeffrey Epstein, a multimillionaire who was being charged with sex trafficking, killed himself. Young people had strong ties to politics, culture, and money. Quickly, the idea that he might have been killed to protect other people involved in his crimes spread. In the past, Epstein had been on watch, but at the time of his death, he wasn't being fully watched. Many people don't trust the official story and think he was quiet to protect well-known people with ties to his trafficking ring. Now we're in 2024, and the same worries are getting worse. After Diddy was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and crime, he hung out with him. She was sent to the Metropolitan Detention Center (MDC) in Brooklyn, a jail. It is known for having difficult conditions and for prisoners committing suicide before. As with Epstein, people are afraid about Diddy's safety while he waits for his trial. Could Diddy be in danger of being shut up in the same way that some people think Epstein was? These questions have been going around online, with some people even using the Epstein to talk about the danger Diddy might be in while he's in jail. The biggest thing about all of this is that he had to get some real names that he has tapes of. Because of these worries, Diddy has been put under watch, even though reports say he isn't acting strange. Harm tendencies say that his lawyers say the decision is common for high-profile cases. It's meant to be a safety tool for prisoners facing major charges, but many people don't believe it because it seems eerily similar to what happened to Epstein. What is being done to make sure it's real? Diddy's safety ever since he was arrested. Diddy has been closely watched at the MDC. The jail has been faulted for having dangerous conditions and has had problems with fighting and not having enough staff. Due to the risks, Diddy has been put in a special living unit because he has hurt himself several times in the past few years. Block or shoe that makes things safer and separates them from the rest of the world inmate population. These rooms are meant to keep prisoners who are at risk of being hurt safe. Besides his position in the Sahu, he also faced threats from them or other people. Of course, Diddy is being watched by jail staff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The use of a safety smock, a clothing that can't be used to hurt oneself, and constant video tracking are meant to keep any problems from happening, especially since his case was so famous and got attention around the world. Has drawn, but the Metropolitan Detention Center is closed while these safety measures are in place. Former prisoners and foes have said that the center itself is like hell on earth. Both stories talk about overcrowding, frequent lockdowns, and a lack of basic services that make people wonder if the building is really ready to stop another terrible event like Epstein's. There have been 2 killings, 2 forced deaths, and a lot of stabbings, lockdowns in the last few years.